Machiavelli Mills TV. So look, y'all, I want to talk about some stories that my uncle told me while he was a CO in a prison, right? A correctional officer. And I remember when he was a CO, we were small kids at the time. I'm maybe like 11, 12 at the time. My cousins are younger than me. So they're like 8 or 9, right? And so he's telling us about the stories that happened while he's working as a correctional officer in his prison. And man, the stories my uncle told us, from that day on, I knew jail was never a place that I ever wanted to be ever in life. I don't give a damn what circumstances I was in or living in. I don't care what gangs was around me. I was never going to be a part of none of that shit because I didn't never want to go to that place that my uncle was describing to me and my cousins at all, right? My uncle was a CO, and I remember him telling us stories like about people getting extorted for their commissary off bat. Like I'm talking about dudes in prison scoping out dudes that they feel like is soft or, that's really intimidated easily, that seem like, they really ain't gonna apply no pressure or no force back. Like basically hunting the dudes that are like that, filling them out off as soon as they come up in there off one conversation. And then feel like, oh yeah, I can extort this dude. And taking a commissary like it ain't nothing. Deboing them out of their commissary. Like crazy. Like I was all hell no. Like, in my natural everyday life, I smile a lot. I'm just a smiling person, whatever. I'm like, oh hell no. My uncle like, man, listen, that energy is not welcome like that in jail unless you really, really like that. And you got that energy, aggressiveness about you that will ward off other individuals in prison. Because you come in smiling like, oh, look at this happy-go-lucky guy. We got us one. Extort the hell up out of you. Take your commissary. And then if you ain't fighting back, it is what it is. And I'm like, no, man. My uncle told us about stories, like straight up, told us about stories about dudes owing debt. Getting stabbed and stuff. Stabbed for owing debt. Like, basically, oh, I'm going to pay you back. Dude don't pay the debt back. Dude like, okay, cool. Come back and stab them up. Or come back and beat them to unconsciousness. It's like, what the hell? And then, like, it be people, like, and in jail, it's other COs that letting stuff ride. They really don't really be trying to intervene. They see that knife, they all know. Like, you know what I'm saying? It not him in particular, but he was saying it's some of them that don't really want to intervene like that. I'm like, damn, so you getting beat to a pulp and a CO looking like, shit, I ain't getting between that. Right? I remember my uncle told me when he was in jail, I'm in jail, he wasn't in jail. When he was a CO working in the prison, he was like, one time he had an altercation with his Hispanic dude, Mexican dude, he told me. Real buff, cut up dude, right? The dude was mad at my uncle for something and swung off my uncle. Now, he missed. But of course, when that happened, my uncle began to rumble with him. Throw up, you know what I'm saying? We finna scrap. We finna get down. We finna squabble. He said, man, he told me, Malcolm, I was squabbling, getting down with this dude. And I'm telling you, he said this dude could box. Like this dude was straight up like he could have been a professional. Like he had some type of amateur background and he medaled in the Olympics. He was that damn good. Now, my uncle is into boxing heavy, right? Into boxing heavy. He's in shape and all of that, right? He said, Malcolm, this dude, I was getting tired as hell. This dude can fight. He wasn't getting winded. He wasn't getting tired. His stamina was up to the roof. Up to the roof. Just imagine, these dudes' stamina be crazy. They work out all day long. They got nothing but a lot of them got nothing but aggression all up in them because they're in an aggressive environment, right? Their environment is aggressive all the way through and through, right? They're around nothing but dudes. A lot of them they just adrenaline all through the ceiling. A lot of them not having no sex or nothing like that. They just full of testosterone and they ready to release it. He like, man, this dude wasn't getting tired. I was all, hell no. Y'all know my boy, what's my boy, Ha Davis? Guard. He said, man, listen, he had backup come. He said, nephew, if that backup didn't come, he said that Mexican dude might have, man, whooped me out. He said, for real, because I was looking like, damn, when backup coming? Because he said, I'm in there getting down with this dude. He said, this dude is not getting winded. He in there like, come on. He said, he said, fool was cut up like it wasn't nothing. And he was just like, he wasn't getting tired at all. I'm talking about my uncle starting to breathe heavy. And my uncle was in shape. He said, that Mexican dude saw him getting tired and like, let's go. He was getting, At that point, he wanted to go all the way in. He trying to get down on my uncle. He said when the backup came, shit, I felt like the weight of the earth got off my shoulders. I was so damn relieved. I was glad they came. Like, damn, what took y'all so long? Because he's like, this Mexican dude was trying to knock my head clean off my shoulders, right? In jail, my uncle told me, basically, when them people in there be acting up, and they acting wild, and you trying to get them when they acting unruly, the prisoners a lot of times gon' boo-boo and smear their own feces all over their body, just so you don't touch them and you don't come up in there with them and mess with them. Because you ain't finna touch them. They got all that stuff over them. You ain't finna come up there. They got boo-boo all up on them and all that. Must be smearing boo-boo all over their body. Just so you won't touch them. Smearing it all over the windows and all that, or the doors and all that. Just to act unruly and act crazy. A lot of them in there facing hard time. They not going to be getting out no time soon a lot of times. They don't give a damn about what's going on in the jail. They don't care about what the hell you got going on in your personal life. They don't give a damn about their celly. None of that. It's going up in here. And that's how it be. And I'll be like, oh, hell no, fam. You in there fighting dudes or trying to touch dudes. They got boo-boo all over them. What the hell is going on? My uncle told me one time, he walking through the, through the deck or whatever. And I guess somebody was at the top. So he say one of them, this little dude would always give my uncle problems all the time, right? And he say, my uncle last name, Jackson. He say, Jackson. My uncle said he saw him though. Originally, he walking past, he saw him with a cup in his hand. Jackson. He said, I already knew what he tried to do. I stepped back. That monk threw pee all down, threw pee out the cup to try to throw a whole cup of pee on my uncle. A whole thing of pee all on my uncle. My uncle moved out the way just in time. Trying to throw piss on my uncle up in there, right? He like, oh, nah, fam. This is not he said, Malcolm, that place is not a place you ever want to be in your life. Right? It's to the point where dudes are in there. I promise you, dudes is in there making little, like I'm talking about shooting boo-boo out of a toothpaste tube to shoot on to correctional officers. Shooting boo-boo at them in a toothpaste tube and all that to shoot at the correctional officers. Boo-boo, pee, semen and all that. Shooting it all, trying to shoot it in the guard's face when they get pissed off. Fam, just imagine some boo-boo get shot up in your face. Some pee, some semen and all that, you're going to be heated. You're going to be pissed off. You can get all type of hepatitis and all that from that type of stuff. You get sprayed all in your face and all that. You can get all that from that type of stuff, man. Like you be in that bitch, excuse my language. You would be in there pissed off. Pissed off like you ready to whoop the inmate's ass at that point. You ready to whoop his ass all the way through. Throwing piss and boo-boo and semen all that. Somebody felt like them mothers was in there really doing that type of stuff in the jail, right? Now, this is the one that got me, y'all. This is super graphic. So if you're eating, I hope you stop. I hope you step away from whatever you eating, but I got to tell this story. My uncle, and when I tell this story, this is not meant to be derogatory to anybody that's homosexual or anybody that's gay or nothing like that. Not at all. I don't have nothing against anybody that's gay at all, man. You know what I'm saying? I got gay subscribers, gay individuals in my family, so I'm not trying to be funny about this at all. I'm just telling you what my uncle told me, Not trying to be funny at all. My uncle told me he working one night, and he said he hearing, right? And he like, what the hell is that? What is that? What is that? You know what I'm saying? So they start going around, walking around, trying to see what's going on. He said, Malcolm, when I saw what the hell I saw, he said, yo, my mind was boggled. So it was a couple in jail that, they were gay, right? And they were cellies or whatever. He said, man, the dude was stuck in that other man's behind while they was having sex with each other. Was stuck in that other man's behind. And the guards in them was just like, yo, what the hell is going on? I don't even know how they got him out or whatever. I don't know. But my uncle said he couldn't believe that when he saw that. Like, what the hell? He just was like, it was just like something. He was like, what is going on? Like, he couldn't believe it. Like, it was just something that he's like, what is going on? How the hell this happened? Like, what? It was just something crazy. It's like he couldn't get out of the man's behind. He was stuck in there. He was like, what is going on, man? And I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not even trying to be funny. That is what my uncle told me. He saw it as a CO, right? And yeah, but he basically told me Ma's in there getting extorted, getting beat, boo-boo, shot all in the certain officer's face and all that type of stuff. It didn't happen to him, but it happened to some other COs in there, right? Then I remember one time my aunt told me that a friend of hers was working as a CO in jail. And I don't know, in prison, I don't know how it exactly goes. I'm paraphrasing. In prison, I guess they got some doors that when they shut, they can't be open. The system or computer got to open them or something like that, right? This is a woman CO in a man's prison. And she got caught in the door when the door closed. And the guards were beating on her. Beating on her because she got caught in the door. And I was like, man, that is some crazy stuff. So even working in prison can be very dangerous because some of these inmates be trying to take out their aggression on you when they get mad at some other stuff that's going on in their personal life, right? You got people got stuff going on back home that they just like, I can't deal with it. Whoever the first person to just say something to them, they ready to snap. And then I'll tell you about people hunting people out for commissary, right? Preying on the weak, because they're going to do that in prison. They're going to prey on whoever they think is weak to get commissary easily. So if you look like you're not going to put up a fight or a struggle to push back against them for the commissary, they're going to do that. If they don't got nobody sending them nothing back home and nobody back home putting money on their books, they're going to do that. Or even if somebody is putting money on their books, they're going to want extra to maybe to gamble with, to put other people in debt, or just to have to eat themselves. So they like, yeah, they feel like you weak. They gonna push up on you and be like, hold on. I need that, I need this, and I need that. And if you give it to them, they're going to create a cycle of them just extorting you the whole time. Unless you ask to be removed, you ask to be put in PC or whatever like that. Like, he was like, this is how it goes. And I'm like, oh, hell no. First of all, I never wanted to be no criminal in my life ever. My mother and father had me know that shit was over with and dead. That was never an option for me. I was never going to be living like that at all. But just the thought of like, damn. Like, I know I ain't never doing nothing now. If that shit happening in there, hell no. I'm never going to be dealing with nothing like that. He like, yeah, they shooting people with the beanbag guns or whatever up in there. Them must hurt like hell. You acting unruly, they shoot you with that. It was just like, it was all type of crazy stuff he was telling us. I'm looking like, oh no, fam. That ain't nothing I ever want to experience at all. Like, ma just shitting all on this. So just imagine being a celly with somebody that's shitting and wiping their boo-boo all on them. Because they don't want to come out. Like, just imagine being in there with somebody like that. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's crazy, man. Then telling me how the rapist in there, you getting beat and knocked out. Like, I'm a monster, man. All type of crazy stuff be happening up in there. He like, yeah, that ain't a place you really want. That ain't a place you ever want to be in your, not really. That's not a place you ever want to be in your life. Because people in there, he say, I see people come up in there, be cool people, come in there and be an animal because they got to be an animal to survive in there. They got to be an animal to survive. And just to be, you know what I mean, just to have their time in some type of peace, right? Set the tone. Some people come in there just to set the tone. Looking to knock somebody's head off. Whoever say the wrong thing to them, immediately knock you out to set the tone and say, you know what? I ain't finna get bullied in here. I ain't finna get extorted. I ain't finna get pushed up on none of that. Oh, no, it ain't going down like that. So some people be like, hey, moment somebody say something to them, they knocking their head off their let them know this ain't gonna go down like that. And a lot of times you gotta do that. In order for you to have a good rest of your prison stay, if somebody try to push up on you the wrong way for no apparent reason, you got to be ready to get down. Even if you ain't no fighter like that. And, you know, I'm like, oh, that ain't no place nobody want to be at. I said, oh, hell no. Shit like that, oh, no, fam. I'm all cool with defending myself, but shit, you can get jumped or whatever up in there. I'm like, nah, fam. That shit ain't for me. I ain't no animal. I ain't no heathen. I ain't living like that. I like to smile. I like to enjoy my life. I ain't trying to be no heathen to survive nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't nowhere I want to be at all. So it's just like, I'm like, man, what the hell is going on? He like, hey, nephew, there's no way, it's not a place none of y'all ever want to be. And thank God none of us ever ended up in them situations. None of us ever ended up there at all. But I promise you, them stories helped us. Them stories helped us stay on a straight and narrow. Like, we don't want to be a part of none of that shit going on up in there. Hell the fuck no. That shit going on, I'm not gonna step nowhere near it. Nope. Keep living straight life. I'm gonna be a square the whole rest of my life. I'm gonna be a square. I'm gonna be in the books. I'm gonna stay a nerd. I'm gonna stay doing my thing in school. I'm gonna like pretty girls. I'm gonna stay to myself. I'm gonna just rock out doing my own thing. I ain't trying to be tough. I ain't trying to debo nobody. I ain't trying to be the biggest gang bang on the block. I ain't trying to sell no drugs. None of that. Because I ain't trying to end up in that place my uncle was describing to us when I was 11 and my cousins was 9 and all that. That ain't a place for me. It don't sound like a place that's fun. Just imagine the mother having to telling you when to shower, when you can go and eat, when you can get on the phone and call your people, when you can see your kids, when you can see your mama and all that. Like, that ain't the hell no. Ain't no women up in here. I ain't trying to be in there. No, not at all, man. Machiavelli Mills TV. I'm out. Peace.